started from bottom all the way to top. My mother is my inspiration, so I just wanted to put that. A lot of you are mothers, and I want to be an inspiration to my daughter as well. And what she did was, she started real estate. With me, I started with taxation. So I worked for the Internal Revenue Service. In the Internal Revenue Service, I felt that Latinos weren't explained to them what it means to do your taxes. They just do it and then you go away. But it means a lot to get it done. So when she opened her office, I left the IRS and I came into her real estate office and did taxations there. Most of our clientele were Spanish speaking because that was her desire, is to teach and train. So we had a lot of seminars, we had people come on, we had parties every year. And what we did was really educate so Hispanics who know how to buy a house. And to this day, I follow that same trend. We go by teaching. It's not so much to try to push to sell. You have to explain to everyone what needs to be done. In 2006, what I could say is when you read about my first, when I was 6 years old, and I started a shoe business in the house. What I did was, that business started, but it closed down very quickly. Because my mother find out her shoes had the bottom soles were made out of pencil, the erases for the pencil, it was closed down. So when we're young, what we do is we are resilient. So what we do is when we do something and we fail at it, that would have been considered a failure, but for me it was not. It was like, okay, I can't do that business, so let me start something else. So I did, believe it or not, mail order, which that was another story in itself, but I was very young. So I always had that mentality of having a business and being successful. And when I took over the company, I switched everything around. But as you know, in the real estate business, in 2008, it was a very hard time. They said the bubble burst, but it burst for anybody. It burst for homeowners. It goes for real estate agents. A lot of them are still struggling. When I lost that business, I realized that people didn't understand really when you're trying to be successful, you also have to embrace failure. And if you don't really know what failure is or how it feels, or you don't go through it, it's something that's really detrimental to your, I'm not going to say your soul, to your spirit. And it keeps you down a little bit. So what I usually tell people is when they're trying to be successful, you're going to hit bumps in the road. And also when, let's say, you're in sales. A lot of people here are in sales. You're going to make mistakes. And you got to forgive yourself. And what I found out along the way, sometimes when something happens to you, you have to learn from it, and then you have to go to other people and say, well, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel so bad? And I no longer wanted to own a business and things like that. And that only happened for a short time because I said, wait a minute. My goal was to become a successful business person. And number one, you have to have a goal. You have to have a vision of where you want to be. And let's say if you want to open a business now, you have to find out what is that why. Why do I want to own a business? Most people feel that a lot of people want to open businesses because they want to make more money, but that's not really the underlying cause. There's always a why. A lot of people are mothers. I want to have my child go to college. I want them to have a better life than I have. And usually Hispanics, women, that's how they feel. They want a better life for the children that they have, and that's why they want to open a business. When you're opening a business, you're thinking that way, but you're thinking it's about the money. Don't concentrate on the money because that's going to be your downfall. If you think of yourself or what you want to think of what your services are to the customer. We were very detail-oriented in finding out what the customer really wanted. Because a lot of times people want to try to sell you something that you don't want or need. And what you want to find is, okay, how long do you want to stay in the house, and things like that. You want your children to stay. Usually there's a why. I can even have, like, if somebody wants to volunteer, this is like off the cuff, somebody wants to volunteer, and I'll try to get into your why. Anybody wants to volunteer? Okay. Well, what is your goal in life?
My goal? Be successful.
Be successful.
And whatever I do. Yeah.
And whatever you do. What does success mean to you?
Be able to, my wishes come true, make them come true. Whatever it is in monetary or the
Health.
yeah, health, yeah.
Now, why
The relationships, you know,
relationships?
yeah,
Why do
family.
you feel, why do you feel it's important for you to have health and money? Why do you feel that?
Why do I feel like that? Because those are the like the main goals, like for everybody to be happy.